Hello there, I'm Sean Greasley and welcome to tutorial number 3 of our SQL tutorials. In this tutorial I will be describing a more advanced insert statement and a little look at comments within SQL. Okay, let's have a look then. The insert statement we used in the previous tutorial, we had the syntax like so: insert into the table name, values, open our parenthesis, end our parenthesis at the bottom here, and the values like so. Say Stephen, of age 13, and he was born on the 23rd August 1989. Okay, so this is the statement we used in our previous tutorial. What I'd like to look at now is a more advanced insert statement. For example, as you can see here, we have ordered the insertions in order of how the column headers appear in our table. For example, if we describe our table, we can see that we put the name in first, we then put the age in second, and the date of birth in third, which is what you do have to do within SQL. But to have more power over the insert statement, we may only want to enter the name and the age, for example, or the name and the date of birth, since the age is a calculator field and we can derive that from the date of birth anyway. So if we amend that like so, we only want to insert the name and the date of birth. We do not wish to insert any more ages into our table. So in order to do this, we have to modify the insert table header like so. So insert into profile, name, date of birth. Okay, what this is doing is inserting something into our table. You then open parenthesis after the table name and put in the fields that you are inserting data into. So in this case we no longer wish to insert age into our table, so we are not including this. But because we're not including this second data value here, we need to state that Stephen is going into the name and the date of birth here is going into the date of birth field, like so. So when we run this, one row created, if we select from the name of our table, we can see that Stephen here, we have just entered, has no age, but we can derive that from his date of birth, like so. So that is a more advanced insert statement, where you do not have to fill in all the values for each column header. You can pick and choose which one you'd like to fill in values for, which is very handy when you get more into SQL and whatever you like to use SQL for. So as promised, now I will now look at comments within SQL. You may have used comments in Visual Basic, C++, Java, anything like that. But for you that don't know what comments are, it's pieces of code that do not get executed, they do not get compiled, and they do not even get looked at in the compilation process of SQL code. So for example, if we have a really complex SQL statement, something like select distinct, I don't know, anything, something like this, you might want to look back on what these actually mean. For example, distinct, we'll have a look at this later, but in this case you may not remember in the future what distinct means. So if you write underneath this line of code something like distinct means pulling out non-duplicate entries. This is what distinct does actually do. But if you need to refer to this in future, you can look at your comments. This does not get executed by the SQL compiler, and in order to do these comments you need a / like so, a asterisk, another asterisk, and a / to finish. With this comment headers, if you'd like, here, you can then run this onto 2 rows if you like. I don't know. You can then say what distinct means. You could say what this line of code does. So you could say selects ages from the profile. You may then want to, I don't know, copyright this line of code. Anything like that. I don't know. But with this comment syntax here, you can spread this over multiple lines. There is another version of the comment variable, if you'd like, inbuilt function, which is to have a comment on one single line only. For example, the / asterisk comment asterisk / lets you place comments over multiple lines. If we use 2 hyphens like so, this means that you can write a comment after it here, but if you write a comment on the next line, it will return an error, because all this does, it protects it for one line of code only. It does not ensure multiple line support. So if we run a proper SQL piece of code here, I missed the semicolon, we can see it's compiled okay and everything. If we delete our comment, as you can see, we're getting errors here. So they are what comments does, and as before, the more complex insert statement. You have been listening to Sean Greasley's tutorial here on SQL. Goodbye.